Okay, John, I'm gonna give you a count. 3, 2.
See, you didn't say one that
You've
time.
been telling me not to say the one. 3, 2, 1, go. Leave that in, PJ.
You put go in there now.
You never cross the streams.
All right.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Gameboyz. We are a bunch of nerds that talk about nerd stuff. There's
Could
not
you
a whole lot
say
more
it?
to it.
Literally any worse, John.
I definitely could.
You need to be
Okay.
like, hey, welcome to the Gameboyz, where we talk about nerd stuff.
Hey, welcome
As
to the Gameboyz.
No, that sounds like you're.
No, that's-
Welcome to the
That sounds like
Gameboyz.
that AI TikTok voice.
Oh my
That's
god!
right.
Have you guys?
Welcome
All right.
to the Gameboyz.
Hold on. I got our first little thing. By the way, guys, if you don't know, sorry, John, I'm stealing the hosting.
Oh, yeah,
thing.
no, we're good. So, yeah, welcome to the Gameboyz. I am your host this week, John, and I am joined by two lovely co-hosts here. We got starting off with PJ. PJ, how's it going?
Yeah.
Okay, James, he's our other co-host.
Hi, howdy doody, neighbor.
The yak just kicked me off my ledge. I don't even know how to respond. Jeez. What's up, James?
Hi, what up? We just got done recording our first episode. so-
Sometimes people have songs for profiling. I just have social cues.
Oh my god! All
That's
right.
You're
long.
welcome.
We're 3 minutes. Anyway, so we were talking about stuff last time. The Switch 2. Did you decide to buy it?
No. I
That's
definitely-
really weird because you showed me your Amazon cart
Shut your mouth.
that pre-ordered, and you said, "This is for me. Do not tell my kids."
We had a 20-minute conversation. It just goes completely backwards.
It's fine. It's fine.
Dude, it's fine. We're gonna have every topic of every episode is does PJ buy the Switch 2?
Find out next episode.
Next on Gameboyz.
Oh my god, dude.
James, I hear you have a topic that you like to bring up to the
Dude,
group.
so
Safe place.
So
Safe
oh my
place.
god. I had a couple, right? I don't even remember what my first topic was because we just kind of jumped all the way around.
You kind of
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay.
So I think so there was a couple things I wanted to bring up. So the first one was that have you guys been aware of like this game that's been really popular, Path of Exile 2? So I talked to you guys about it in the car a little bit.
Do I have? I got a little something.
Have you
something for
played
that.
some PoE 2?
I got something for that. You go. You continue.
Okay,
on.
so for people that don't know what PoE 2 is,
Mm-hmm.
Path of Exile 2 is like a Path of Exile in itself.
Yeah.
Has been a game franchise that's like Diablo. For the old man sitting here, it's Diablo.
Sure.
Do you remember what Diablo is?
Yeah. It's that was the guy.
What's funny is he might remember Diablo 1.
Yeah, that's
Yes. No.
So Diablo was all about like having a guy that's walking around the map.
it's just like
killing
Doom.
Yeah, no. We can't do this for another episode, dude. We got it out of our system. So basically, it's an action RPG, right?
Sure.
So you're a guy walking around farming creatures, killing creatures, getting gear, making it so you could do your stuff better. So it's the
Right.
whole entire thing. So we were talking about topics in the car, and this is a really funny topic because it just came out today when we record. Elon Musk is the number one Diablo 4 player, or one of the top Diablo 4 players in the world.
Sure.
Right? It has been shown, he has done it, et cetera, et cetera. Then Path of Exile 2 comes out, and everybody's like, you got to play Path of Exile 2. It's like a so much more complicated Diablo 4.
Okay.
And like, it's like systems upon systems.
Yeah.
Right? So like, it doesn't matter, but it's complicated. That's the whole entire point. So he gets to the point where people are like playing, like he's like showing off on his Starlink that he can play Diablo or that he can play Path of Exile 2 on a plane. And people
Sure.
are like, oh, that's kind of weird, right? He's disconnecting a lot and he's streaming it on X, right?
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
and like, like I'm not an X hater or an Elon hater, but it's really funny because people found out that there's very suspicious things about his game that make it sound like he's botted his game. So he's paying someone in China to play his game for him. So before you're like, oh, that's just generic Elon hate. Because I was like that too. I was like, people just hate Elon. They're just going to make up shit, whatever.
Yeah.
So the first stuff came out and I was like, all right, cool. But then like people are like, all right, look, here's the evidence. First things first, right? He's doing an endgame boss, right?
Yeah.
And he is playing a class that requires you to spend mana, right? So he is not drinking his mana flask to recover his mana, and he is just smashing a button hoping the boss dies. like he's doing fine. He has a lot of good gear and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
The second thing is that in this game, there's something called mapping, right? So
Okay.
maps are like you put them together and like you can roll stats on maps to vary the type of monsters that show up on these like game boards that you play on, right? That
Yeah.
are these maps. So in your like storage in your bank, right? Like you would normally have tabs for each one. So like you would put all your maps in like one storage tab. So you had like, you know, tier 1 maps, tier 2 maps, tier 3 maps. And then there was a separate tab that said Elon's maps.
Okay.
Okay.
And you
So-
can't customize these tabs?
No,
right?
you can. You can. You can
Okay.
rename the tabs. But it's like, why would you, if you are Elon?
Yeah.
And name your maps Elon's maps.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, why are you? And then there was some other stuff that was
Yeah.
like, so like max, like when you're at the level that he's at, your item level's supposed to be like, I don't know, like 300 or whatever.
Sure.
Doesn't matter. He was using something that was like item level 40. And it's like, so he clearly doesn't know what the game is and how it works and how all this stuff works,
Fair.
which I don't understand, man. Why not just play the game normally and have people help you learn and do all this stuff? Because that's the fun part of games.
Absolutely. So here's my little thought process on this whole thing.
Yeah.
He was one of the number 1 players in Diablo 4.
Yes.
Diablo 4 is a cakewalk game.
It is easy.
Cakewalk.
So someone I was watching today was like, yeah, so he probably also bought a Diablo 4, but the game is so easy you couldn't tell in game.
I beat the game in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Beat the game, and then I started playing Spiritborn, which
Yep.
for anyone who's played Diablo 4, Spiritborn is just a broken class right now
Brand new.
until the next season comes out, which is supposed to happen in a little bit. So maybe by the time this goes up, might have been. Anyway, so it's super overpowered. You just play that with specific items that you can roll for, and guess what? You're OP. Of course you're going to get number 1 because you have the best gear. You just go through it. Like, it's not hard. I can't stress this enough. If you are a casual gamer and you like these kind of games, play Diablo 4.
It's a dad game.
It is a absolute dad game.
So there's
So
nothing.
it's right up my alley.
So there's nothing wrong with.
yeah.
But like, here's the thing, PJ. There's nothing wrong with dad games, right?
Okay.
So like, dad games are meant for people who are like, I have 2 hours to play per night.
Sure.
I can't invest that much time. I don't want to look it up outside of what I have to do. I
Got it.
just kind of want to roll in there and
Yeah.
like face roll stuff.
Got
and
it.
that's cool. I like certain dad games too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You know, but like at a certain point, you know, you can't be like, I'm the best. I can't believe I'm such skill-based matchmaking at fucking coloring inside the lines. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, no, I mean, I love to play a mobile game that
Mm-hmm.
takes me like 5 to 10 minutes around and I don't have to grind for it. Or, you know, if I'm going to the bathroom and I want to take an hour on my phone, I can play that game.
know.
And
you shouldn't be going to the bathroom for an hour.
No, if I'm playing a game, I'm going for an hour.
Well, so
that cause issues?
remember he's a dad, so like the kids don't interrupt him while
Peacetime.
he's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he may not be butthole on the seat or butthole. You know,
I never put my butthole on the seat, James. But
okay.
How do you get it
you
out?
do you.
So you're supposed to turn the thing
The
halfway up and just
trajectory.
Hey,
insert it.
ADHD moment.
Sorry.
Have you guys ever used a squatty potty?
I love the squatty potty.
Like unironically, like I don't own one.
Worth?
Oh,
It's
so
so
worth it.
good, dude.
Way better than buying a Nintendo Switch 2.
No, but like
Anyway,
Squatty Potty ain't giving you FOMO.
But so Elon Musk does this
Yes.
thing
Yeah.
where he bots it and he's bragging that he's doing super well. And it's like, what type of mindset do you have to have? Dude, you don't have to prove that you're really good at this.
yeah.
You could even just be bad at it. And people wouldn't, I mean, yeah, people would give you shit, but that's because people give you shit at everything.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're the best at it, people are still going to give you shit about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're the best.
Yeah, what does that prove, though, I guess, is the
Nothing.
question. Yeah.
He's not new to stuff like this either. Did you see the other thing where he had a fake Twitter account that he used to comment on his own stuff?
Yeah, this shit's
Yeah.
And
crazy.
one of the things is, like, you're such a great dad. Your kids are so lucky to have you, even though like several of his kids disowned him because
Sure.
they like didn't
Dude, why
agree
not
with
just
him and stuff.
pay someone to make those
I
tweets
know.
for you?
And then someone called him out on it and put all the proof saying, yeah,
Yeah.
it's you. And then he goes, what? I thought we are supposed to be promoting self-health or self-health. Health.
Again,
Health.
you
Yeah.
know what though? This is like not to like gas him up or anything, but
Sure.
all this does is prove that he's just a normal dude, and it kind of
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
humanizes him.
Yeah.
But like he could just look. All he has to do is just take the L, man. If you just take the L and you get a
I
little
don't
bit
think he
humble-
knows how.
I know, and
That's
it's
the problem.
And the problem is that like when you get this overinflated of an ego and like all this stuff. And like I am not an Elon Musk hater. I don't really care about Elon Musk.
Sure.
When
he doesn't haunt your dreams.
I literally found this out because one of the streamers that I watch was talking about it today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is really funny. Like, that's it. It's like, why would you buy? I mean, like, I guess because you don't have enough time and you want to experience
it. It's a difficult game. There is a lot to it.
Yep.
And it is not just, it's not like picking up Diablo and playing it.
How far have you gotten in PoE 2?
So that was my story.
Yeah.
Not to pull it away from
No, you're good. You're good. Go for it.
Elon here, but I bought it on my computer.
Yeah.
And I just never played it because I was like, I don't play on my computer that often unless I'm playing League of Legends. It's usually that's like my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you're playing League of Legends.
I know. It's literally an addiction, but it's fine.
It's a card game
fine.
now.
No, it's not a card game.
Well, no, they're making a League TCG.
TCG.
It's the cards are only in Japanese right now, but they're making it, and it looks like it's going to be okay.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
like just because I started when League of Legends was in beta. Because I was looking for free. Dude, you don't understand. When you're a 15-year-old, when I was a 15-year-old and I was like, look, I wanna play a free game. And I want a game.
Not much out there.
Yeah, and even League in beta, I had to apply and I got in and I played with like my girlfriend at the time. And it was fun. And then I played and I played and then I quit in college because I was like, this is too infuriating.
The people of League are the issue.
Yeah.
I play with friends. So we usually have a 4-man team. We'll get one rando against another team. And you know what? We don't rage. We just play for fun. It's wonderful.
You say that until someone starts taking it too seriously.
Dude, I know.
But
it's John.
I mean, I don't know how to tell you this. I don't know how to tell you this, man. I'm a Dota 2 player.
Fucking bush.
Oh my god, dude. I'm a Dota 2 player. I love Dota 2.
Well, you're dead to me. So, PJ, we're going to have a conversation and not talk to James anymore.
All right. But back to PoE 2.
Yeah,
so you didn't even touch it, right?
I didn't touch it on the computer, and I was like, you know what? I go upstairs and I sit and watch TV or something. It's where I play Diablo. It's on my PS5.
Yeah.
And Diablo works great on the PS5. It's very fun. It's very great with the controller. It's very easy to play.
Yep.
And it's easily digestible. I mean, half hour at the end of the day, you play it. It's perfectly fun. You're not really angry at the game at all. And you just move on. So I was like, you know what? Let me do the same thing with PoE. I'm going to get it on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
A regular PS5. Nothing crazy. And I download it. I install it. In that order. And I pull it up. And I play 6 minutes of it, and I notice that it's running at like 20 frames per second.
Yep.
Okay. Let me mess the settings because there's a lot of them. It is also in early access.
Yep.
So, grain of salt here.
Yep.
I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. It could be very good when it comes out. It might just not be. They might be just focusing on content right now for the computer side, and then they're going to optimize it at the very end. That's possible.
Right.
But man, does it run worse than Scarlet and Violet. Like,
So,
it was so bad. There's artifacting everywhere. Things look like they're vibrating. I couldn't. Literally moving was like giving me motion sickness.
So I think with that, when did you do it? Like, when was it originally out?
2 weeks ago.
Like, when it was first coming out? Like,
about a week after it came out.
So they released an optimization patch like 2 weeks after it was out. So
Maybe I just don't have that. I'll have
or,
to double
or
check.
maybe you haven't tried it. Like, I don't know. Maybe you haven't installed it since
I'm
then.
going to have to try it because, I just haven't gone back to it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I didn't play Path of Exile 1.
Yeah.
I got probably a good 30 minutes into it, and I was playing with a friend of mine who was just like, oh, yeah, follow this guide. I was like, I don't want to follow a guide.
Yeah,
then you realize you kind of have to follow a guide.
PoE 2 is not exactly the same way. So unlike PoE 1, sorry, I know PJ's.
No, I'm taking it all in.
So PoE 2, unlike PoE 1, doesn't have life nodes on the doesn't have life nodes on the tree, so it's a lot less hard to mess up.
Gotcha.
And you can respec a lot easier instead of having to use currency.
Easier,
Yeah, so like I've respec'd a bunch and I've done a bunch of stuff. I've only bricked one character, and when I say brick a character, that basically means that you can't play it anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like because the build's just bad or whatever.
I thought it meant just bricked up. But anyway.
But I mean, enough PoE 2 talk.
Yeah.
The game's fantastic. I got to a point where I'm having some graphical issues on one of the maps, and it was just enough to kick me out of it. Where I was like, I just don't want to bother.
What are you playing it
this.
on?
I'm doing it on PC.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you got on your PC right now?
I have an AMD I'm AMD build, so.
This guy, man, it's just
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I don't want to buy it. God, you are an Apple
these
user.
goddamn corporations. I don't need an i7.
Yeah, dude. I mean, so I'm using a 6700 whatever XT.
Yeah.
I love it when you talk dirty to
That's
me.
fine.
Yeah, and then I don't remember what my processor is off the top of my head. I usually have it. I actually, unironically, have it in my phone so for when people ask me this, so that I can pull it up. Because, like, you know what it is. You buy it once, you never think about it. Actually, I have a 68050. Is that it? Is that the one? 68050?
Oh, I don't know.
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
know AMD that well.
It doesn't matter. It's
Sure.
fine. Like AMD's fine. I like it. I'm
honestly just curious because if it runs better on my computer, I'm tempted to do it a little bit. Mine's a 9th gen i7.
Yeah,
so
you'll be
literally
fine.
7 years old.
You will be fine.
I have a 3070, so it's a cheap one from
Yeah, I
last year.
I know.
Like, I don't have anything crazy on my computer because, again, I play League of Legends, and that
I
runs
know.
on toasters.
Yeah. I remember running it on like a thick laptop that I had when I was super young.
I want to play it on one of those Samsung fridges.
Did you? So we always joke around about you know how they bring Skyrim to everything. Todd Howard brings Skyrim to everything. I'm like, when are they gonna put Skyrim on your Samsung fridge? So,
I would play it.
yeah, I know.
Well, here's
Beat
an
this
interesting
dragon
question.
to get your bananas.
So with this game, are you watching people also stream it for entertainment value?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
No, I don't really watch PoE2 streamers because they.
Not really a game that would be great for streaming.
It's so
right?
if you're super into the game, so the game's like systems, right?
Sure.
So it's all systems based on systems,
Right.
right? So the reason why you would watch it is to watch the best players talk about why they play their builds,
Yeah,
and all
absolutely.
this other stuff,
Okay.
right? So like
So
it's
more content than
It's
Yeah.
pretty all things considered, it's a boring game to watch.
yeah, it's a very boring game. You watch
Okay.
for the streamer,
Yeah.
you don't watch for the game.
Imagine like, how would I put it? GoldenEye, if it was a bunch of low-level people just running at you, hundreds of low-level people running at you, and you just with like unlimited ammo.
Yeah.
A better way to say
Got
it
it.
is imagine playing Pokemon trading card game online against the bot, like the AI bot,
Yeah, just over
Yeah.
and over again.
repeatedly with the same deck, and saying trying to explain why you do your plays the way that you do it.
Okay.
Where it's a complete
That's fair.
pushover and it's not. And then every now and then, Azul is one of your opponents, but you don't know when he's there.
Got it.
That is like
Yeah.
how.
just
Yeah,
a
that's-
rando.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
fun to play though. Again, it's neat.
Yeah.
I mean, Diablo. I can't stress enough. If you like to just beat on things, Diablo 4 is wonderful.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, the reason I ask something like that is because I've been like watching more and more games, and I've had more free time outside of working and doing household things. But I've been watching streams on TikTok, which is really weird because I didn't think that was like an actual thing for gamers to do. But it's actually really fun because there's multiple different versions of how you can watch streamers. Like you can
Yeah.
tilt
Really?
it sideways and it changes to like a new overlay,
What?
which is really
Yeah.
weird.
So a lot of
For the next week.
yeah
Yeah.
until it gets banned in the US. We're kind of like dating our episode with this, but that's
Okay,
not a
yeah.
big deal.
That-
But
the
no, I
the
know.
ban is supposed to be just on the App Store. So if you already have it installed, there's a good chance it just stays.
yeah,
And you just
w-
can't use it like normal.
yeah,
you just can't download it again.
yeah. So the funny thing is that when I don't know if you guys remember this. This is a little bit inside baseball stuff, but
Yeah.
like Twitch used to be this thing where you were exclusive to only Twitch.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you, if,
Sure.
It was like 2
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, and but the funny thing was that when TikTok and Instagram allowed streaming,
Yeah.
you were allowed to stream on TikTok and Instagram.
Right.
So that's where TikTok got its like big gaming stream base from.
Mm.
Was people were like, okay, I'm gonna multi-stream on Twitch and TikTok
Yes.
because you had to do a different layout for TikTok.
Yep.
So like the idea was like Twitch was like, I guess we could do this.
Sure.
You know.
For my TikTok, it's literally like I go on there. If I see the live, it's constant Clone Hero.
Really?
You ever play Clone Hero?
Yeah, I know Clone Hero. Yeah.
dude. So I'm looking to get a setup in here
Oh,
to have a guitar on
Yeah.
the TV and stuff. But we're also gonna get an electric drum set for in here to play.
That's really
Oh,
cool.
that'd be really cool.
The new version has drum support,
That's awesome.
and it's so cool.
For me, it's like either people opening packs, people attempting to live react to like superhero stuff,
Yeah.
or just
Sure.
girls in bikinis, and I'm just like,
I swear, every 15
yeah,
is
no,
gonna be that.
No, I know.
like,
and-
I don't get girls in bikinis
yeah, you
on
get
my
men in bikinis.
TikTok.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I do get them a lot on X,
Yeah,
but I don't get them on TikTok.
X has gotten progressively worse.
yeah.
Oh,
I stopped
yeah.
using X altogether. I stopped using X altogether.
So the problem is that with X is that they keep fiddling with the algorithm.
Sure.
So the problem was that from what I understand, again, this is all hearsay. Hands are thrown
Yeah.
up in the air.
We're not in a court.
No,
Yeah.
but like you gotta understand, like I don't want to be like
James has no facts behind
yeah,
this supporting.
it's the if you guys know what Metal Gear, we actually talked about this game forever ago. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, the one where you're playing Raiden. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, what you're talking
Okay, it doesn't
about?
matter. So there's a scene where there's a buff senator guy.
Sure.
And like he's like beating the shit out of Raiden, right? And it's like, so what's my source? My source is I made it the fuck up. So but to kind of like, bring this all together with X, from what I understand, and I might be wrong about this.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, leave a comment, let me know that I'm wrong.
Who's going to tell you? The 12 people that work there?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yes.
The algorithm was extremely, like back before Elon owned it, it was extremely, extremely guided for what they wanted people to see.
Sure.
And then when Elon got there and they kind of released it, it got better because then anything could pop up. But the problem was that anything could pop up and it wasn't curated. Right. And then you find out, oh shit, if nothing's curated, then you get this really like, you get a lot of crypto scams, you get a lot of people who are extremely racist, you get like all this other stuff. And like, I'm the type of person that like, if someone's saying like really bad information, I want it to come to light. That way, like sunlight's best disinfectant type of deal.
Yeah.
Right. Like you got to clown on them. That's the best way to stop these people from. But like, then they were trying to comb that back. And then you get to the thing where Elon had his meltdown like a week ago that we were just talking about, how he had that alt account. Right. And now, that happened at the same time that they were rolling out these new algorithm changes where like, if you're negative, it like adds to a score that makes your Twitter less likely to be seen, your tweets less likely to be seen if you only engage in negative content. But it's like, dude, come on. Like you have to let people, you can't just be like, well, negative people won't be seen that often, because then it becomes Facebook. It literally becomes Facebook where moms are like, look at my perfect life with my perfect kids. And then you're just like, okay, now I want to kill myself because my kids aren't the same. You know what I mean? Like, because my life sucks compared to everybody else's.
Dude, Facebook is just
Facebook.
a whole
What
separate
is
thing.
Facebook anymore? Facebook.
It's an AI factory. It's literally an AI factory.
Yeah, it's like AI. I see so much AI generated content.
Yeah.
Which is like it's fake content of real content.
Are you aware of the dead internet theory?
No, I'm
John,
not.
are you aware?
Oh my! Is that the one where like 90% of the internet is AI now?
Yes.
Zombies.
Yeah.
It's actually
So,
just
so
zombies.
the idea is that as we progress and AI is more out there, the dead internet theory is that AI content is being produced, and 90% of the content that comes out will become AI content that's for AI consumers. And when I say AI consumers, I mean like, you have people that auto click and bots that respond to stuff, and you get this like over like saturation and inflation where like stuff just does not like naturally become a thing.
That's
It's going to pull people away from the internet. I'm calling it now.
Well, yeah, because people are gonna get so tired of this stuff, and like think about it, right? We were just talking about this earlier. You said that your aunt was like telling you about stuff that she saw on Facebook,
Yeah.
and she thought it was real, and then you'd read the article, and the article says, "Oh, by the way, that's not real."
Yeah. There's so much just crap on there now.
yeah.
It's crazy. But like I was watching it was Christmas, and I turned it on a channel, just a local channel, and they had just music playing.
Yeah,
And I look at the background, I go, that's a freaking AI generated video.
yeah,
Not even a good one.
yep.
Like anytime people would walk by, they kind of like merge together or they like disappear in weird ways and stuff. And I was like,
their teeth turned into Sonic the
they
Hedgehog.
just went to a crappy video AI system and just literally like, give me pictures of people walking on a Christmas day.
The problem is that the worst part is that we're talking so much shit on AI when all three of us here are pretty prominent AI supporters to a certain extent.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Like, I think there's a time and place for everything. Like with
Right.
AI, I think AI is going to be fantastic as a search, like a search bar or search
Right.
algorithm, like a way to get information because you can follow up on your questions, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're like, hey, where's the nearest restaurant to eat?
Right.
And then they're like, here, or like, where's the nearest Indian restaurant? And then you get an Indian restaurant. And you're like, great, are they open on Fridays? And then it goes, yes, they're open on Fridays, blah, 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 blah. Okay, how many calories are in this dish that I want to eat?
Right.
Oh, this. And you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then it might be like, I don't know.
Tailored
it's-
information, I agree with wholeheartedly for AI. I think the other thing I really like about AI is that it creates skeletons for ideas.
Yes.
And that's where I feel like AI should properly be used. But I feel like, again, just like our conversation's been going, it is overused. There's 1,000% overuse of AI currently, not only in our social media, but there's just plain content in general.
How did the viewers and listeners know that we're not AI?
Oh, that's true.
We could be the
You'll have
first
to
in
tell me something that only I would know.
We could call ourselves the homegrown AI
That's
human
true.
podcast.
We are human. I drink water, just like you.
I drink what.
Yeah, but then we'd just be a meta podcast.
Oh my god!
That's fair.
Wouldn't that be so good?
Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm actually a pretty big advocate for AI in a lot of things. I know Apple's getting a lot of hate right now for their Apple Intelligence stuff that they're putting on phones.
I don't know
saying
anything
that-
about this. So, go ahead.
So they put all the new phones come with Apple Intelligence now. But the crazy thing is that they announced Apple Intelligence. They said the iPhone 16 is going to have Apple Intelligence. It's going to be like the best thing since sliced bread, all this stuff. And,
I don't even like bread that much.
Well, that's because you're an oddity.
Yes.
Everyone else
Yeah,
loves
and
bread.
everybody else loves bread,
Yeah.
dude.
Bread makes me
Especially
fat.
ducks.
The iPhone 16, all the stuff from the Apple Intelligence didn't come out when the phone came out.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
just like, we're gonna have it soon.
It's like the Tesla auto driving stuff.
Kinda, except
Where they,
Yeah,
remember when
absolutely,
they
yeah.
first came out? Like
Yeah,
they
they're
were like,
like-
we're gonna be able to give you auto driving, but
in 2021.
yeah, for us.
2,
For us
3,
to give
4,
you, yeah,
5,
I know.
yeah.
Well, it's like for us to give you your car. You want your car now, so let's give you your car minus the auto driving. Do you want?
right.
Would you prefer to wait for auto driving, or would you like your
Yeah.
car now?
I'm
I
still
wanna-
waiting for auto driving.
I don't think we're gonna get it.
I drive a Toyota.
Auto driving? Oh yeah, no, you can. I can pay $100 a month and get it on my. I can literally hop in my car, activate full self driving, and it'll take me home all the way to my driveway.
Okay, I mean,
No intervention whatsoever.
I'm not gonna lie though. If you're kind of older and like you need help, that might be the way to go. I think that a lot of people misunderstand the idea of AI support, right? So like the idea is that
Right.
AI is supposed to be a tool that helps you, kind of like a calculator,
Mhm.
right? But people are like, yeah, but what if the calculator solved all of my math homework?
What's a calculator?
It's that
You mean
thing
my
that-
phone?
the thing that your
the
teachers
app-
told you
the
that you would never
app?
have in your pocket.
People use that all the time, but phones were different back
I
then.
know, I know.
And back in my day.
Dude, remember
Exactly.
when we used to, on our graphing calculators, we used to be able to play video games on them?
I remember.
so sad.
You used to have to plug in the 2.5 millimeter jack at the bottom
Yep.
to another one. You can
Yeah.
move it between them.
Yes.
So
I
you had
used
to have a
to-
friend who had it.
I used to type in boobies, but upside down.
Dude, did you ever have a solar charge or a solar charging calculators? I
No.
thought those
Yes.
were the coolest shit.
They were
in high
amazing.
school or in like middle school.
Yeah, and then they
Elementary
went to
school.
sleep when you closed the.
And when you close the lid, yeah.
Oh my god! So my grandpa had one of those calculators that were solar powered.
Yeah.
And he comes to me the other day. He goes, "Yeah, it's not working. Can you figure out what's going on with it?" I look at it. I was like, "This thing is from like 1975."
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, Grandpa, it's wintertime.
Well, he keeps it inside.
Yeah.
And like they keep all the blinds shut and stuff, and it was getting no light whatsoever.
know.
And the battery was cooked after freaking 40 years.
Yeah, well, of course. And like that's how it works,
50
right?
years, 60 years.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, I
god.
don't know. I tell you this, man. People get old. Like,
Dude, I know.
Wow.
I know, man. I know.
Mind
what was I?
blown.
Oh, the Apple Intelligence
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to
so
pull you off that much.
what they started out with is something called math notes, where you can type in an equation, push
was so
equals,
cool.
and it just tells you what it is. You know, it has helped me so much on tips
Yeah.
for restaurants. You just put whatever tips.
Do you want me to
of
teach you how to
this,
do tips? Like right now, I could tell you how to do
move
it.
the decimal place and double it?
Yeah, oh, that's one way to do it. If
Yeah.
you want to do 20%.
you
I
should
I don't usually move the decimal place. So my mom was very like, she was all about like teaching you like what 10% is of something,
Okay.
and
yeah.
then if you half that, that gives you 5%. So if you add those together, it gets you 15%. So quick side
Right.
note, right? That idea of stuff is apparently what Common Core math was supposed to be.
Right.
And then it got like fucking destroyed. So like my mom's way of like teaching you how to like break stuff down and
Yeah.
do stuff in different ways besides just doing it manually. Like that's the whole concept behind what Common Core math was supposed to be.
Exactly.
And then
Which is
they
like what every
bastardized.
other country uses, right?
Yes.
Like every other smarter country. than
Yeah,
us.
it's like
We're done. Good down the country over here.
Yo,
We're
dude,
smartest
anytime-
ones.
dude, anytime that I like mess up something horribly, like my friends just go like they're just like, hey, look, American education system, I don't know what you expect.
I started using the weather calculation in Celsius.
yeah.
And I used it with some of my friends who don't live in the United States, and they're like, we appreciate you so much for not using Fahrenheit, which is the wrong temperature.
Whatever, dude. Like, Britain drives on the left side of the road. I'm not driving on the left side of the road because then I'll get hit by a car. Like, whatever.
Fair.
You know what I mean? You're hoping that okay, all right. Apple Intelligence. Math notes.
So Math Notes is really cool. And then they promised all these other things that they're working on. One of the biggest things is that it integrates with ChatGPT, but it doesn't just reach out to ChatGPT. It says, hey, I got this information or this picture. This is best used for ChatGPT to get you this information. Is it okay if I send it?
That's
you have
really
to acknowledge before it sends it out, and it sends it out privately.
Yeah.
It also uses private servers to keep any information and keeps most of the stuff on device. It's really cool for privacy stuff. Apple's one of the companies that I would trust with privacy stuff because they don't make their money by selling people's information.
Do you know about the stories about like how the NSA and other people have approached Apple to try to have them unlock phones for situations for people that may not have been criminals?
Yeah.
So there's these stories about people about like the NSA, FBI, people like that going to Apple and being like, you have the master key to be able to unlock this.
Yeah.
Can you get us can you unlock it?
What was the phone company Huawei?
Yeah.
Huawei.
Ran into a similar issue
They
like that.
unlocked it.
I'm pretty sure they just unlocked it.
Yeah.
So Apple, I do know that there was a feature that was found by people that police officers were confiscating these phones from people and trying to get into them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then what would happen is after 3 days, without any prompt, the phone would reboot.
Yep.
And they couldn't figure out why. They had no idea. And then turns out Apple integrated this like lockout mode.
Yep.
So if it sits and no one's gotten into it for 3 days, it'll reboot in this like sealed state.
Yep.
That only the person who has like the facial recognition or code can get into.
So the reason behind that is actually because there was a back door that was introduced. I'm pretty sure. Again, the sources that I made it the fuck up. But so I read a bunch of random bullshit
on Facebook.
No, on like all over the internet, right? And like I'm pretty sure it's because there are these back doors that sit open. So if someone has remote access to your thing, and then the best way to close that off is to reboot it, right?
Yeah.
And like not have any programs launched or whatever. And that's that secure lock that you're talking about. So it's like it's such a good idea. Dude.
It's so great. Like they're one of the people I would trust with information. It's funny that that's the case because they can do some interesting stuff too. But Apple Intelligence stuff. One of the things that was promised, and this is the thing that brought me back to like AI should be a tool. It should be used. They're supposed to be doing things with Siri that make her better at understanding things. Yeah. It's all on device, and it will search through all your stuff. So you can say something like
contextual searching.
Yeah,
right?
like, hey, name I'm not going to say because it's going to trigger everyone's phone. What time was I? What time was I needing it to be on that flight for my mom?
Yeah,
and it would look through your stuff and find the flight, get you the number, stuff like that, and it apparently worked great.
So a learning language model. Just talking
LLM.
about LLMs, right? Learning language models. So learning language models and all this stuff have this idea that you have this like reward system based on certain things. So you teach all this other stuff. So there's this idea of memory that's been introduced to ChatGPT. It got introduced probably around 2.5, 3, right? And it allows you to go through context, and it's like, hey, so for example, right, one of the things that I do is if I'm making code for work, right, I like say, hey, I'm doing this code for work. Not that I actually ever use it. I shouldn't say for work because I don't actually do it for work. I do it more for personal projects, right? I don't think I've ever I think the closest thing I've ever done for work is to been like, hey, I need to know how Python interfaces with like this JSON library or something like that. Yeah. So, and like, it'll tell me, it's like, here's how it interfaces with this. Or if I need to do research on something, I go, hey, so a good example is a buddy of mine's going through chemotherapy right now. Because of it killed his saliva glands.
Okay.
Like they were like the first thing to go.
Sure.
Guy has some like real bad blood cancer.
Yeah.
Essentially like his God, what is it? It doesn't matter. But like his saliva glands went, so it's real rough for him to constantly speak.
Sure.
So when we're in Discord together, he wants to use text to speech. Discord has its own text to speech bot, but it's like not good.
No.
It's like not good at all. So I've been working on something the past couple of nights, and I've used ChatGPT to help. I'm like, ChatGPT, I want to use this vocal library. How do you suggest I interface with the API? And it's like, well, I suggest you do it this way. And I'm like, well, I found in the documentation there's this routine. How would I work with it? And it's like, well, it's glad. It got a little sassy. It's like, well, yes, you could totally use that routine. That seems a lot easier. Congratulations on being able to find it. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay.
Why does it say eye rolls at the bottom?
Yeah. Hold on. Why does it say? Why is it constantly responding with my location? So, but like the idea is that this is a tool, right? At the end of the day, AI is a tool. So I don't know.
Yeah, you can't say it too loud; it'll hear you.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Oh my god, dude! Remember when we used to call people tools back in the day?
Yes. What a band.
I know that we're the Gameboyz podcast, but we should be the ADHD podcast.
I mean, that's a little closer to what's going
I know.
on.
Whatever,
Well, we
dude.
did talk about games for quite a bit of time here.
We still talk about games.
Yeah, but back to the whole AI thing, right? And like the whole Apple Intelligence thing, which is really funny because Apple Intelligence, AI.
I know. That was a clever name. Give them that.
Yeah, they're very good at what they do. We do have this with Windows machines too, right? We have Copilot built right in.
Yeah.
I use Copilot every day
I've
because
never
I
used
have it for
Copilot.
work.
I've never
so-
used Copilot before.
Copilot for PowerShell is very, very
Is it
good.
really good?
Yeah, because
I
it
just
knows
Googled-
about all the Microsoft libraries.
I mean, I just chat GPT. Hey, okay, this might get.
I think that's the back end of it. I think
Is it just chat GPT?
was it GPTL, GPT-1?
Doesn't matter. Either way.
I forget what they call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's ChatGPT on the back end.
So, have you heard about the PowerShell script that people were using for Windows 10 and 11? Should I talk about this? No.
don't
Like
know.
Is it gonna get
for
John
license
Dox
keys.
too?
Oh, for the keys?
Yeah.
Linus Tech Tips did a video
Yeah,
about
I
it.
know. So
yeah.
basically, PJ for reference,
Yeah.
right? Back in the day, so normally I own all my Windows keys, right?
Okay.
That's what I should say. I'm a loser.
Ah.
I am
I'm a creep.
Yeah, I'm a loser because I spent all my money on my Windows keys.
That's
There
fair.
is a PowerShell script that you can enter in when you're, I don't know if it's when you're installing it because
No, it's after.
it's after. Yeah, when you need to activate Windows or whatever.
Okay.
And what it does is it essentially, quote unquote, treats your computer like it's activated. It's for 10 and 11, right? And they can't remove it because it's something at like the hardware level that you can't patch out. So people are just getting free copies of Windows by adding it in. So there's a really fun story about a Windows tech that was like in their, I don't know if they were in their office or whatever or something like that, and they didn't have a Windows key. They were like a tech support person, and they were trying to get like a work computer up and running, and they didn't like know. They were like, I can't be bothered to go get a key right now, and they enter in the PowerShell script, and they get fired for doing it.
What?
That's
that's
kind of funny.
Oh my god! I mean, I get it as someone who works, in that field, but fired over it seems a bit harsh.
I
on
know.
a
Or maybe
computer.
maybe they. So again, this is like a second story.
Reprimanded.
Like,
Sure.
maybe they got suspended or whatever
Sure.
for it, or maybe they got like heavily reprimanded for it or whatever. But
Yeah, that's I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff with Windows that they don't talk about. I use Windows every day for work.
It's so funny that you, the Apple guy, do Windows IT.
I know. Yeah, and like anyone who doesn't know, that's my Vision Pro. This is my Mac. This is my iPad. That's my iPhone.
I mean, to be fair though, there's two other iPhones that are sitting there.
There
along
are
with
That's
it.
all-
absolutely, and this is I have a problem.
I've been converted.
If
you
they
know,
had an Apple microphone and an Apple like XLR
they
system,
do have an Apple microphone. I'm pretty sure.
No, not an
Are you
XLR
sure?
microphone.
Maybe not an
don't
XLR.
think so.
Apple got out of the music business like a long time ago, like in
Yeah.
the 80s.
So I'm currently. This is like you said music.
Yeah,
and
go for
Apple.
it, go
My
for it.
mind went to iPod. I'm currently working on an iPod right now. I bought an
Okay.
iPod Classic,
Okay.
and I'm retrofitting it.
Like,
So
what do you?
I've ripped the spinning hard drive out of it.
Okay.
And replaced it with a 1 terabyte SSD.
Okay.
Nice.
Which I found out later on is useless because the OS can't handle anything more than like I think it's like 200 gigs or something like that. I forget what it is.
Okay.
But I just ordered it. It should be coming in a Bluetooth module for it, so I can attach it to my AirPods.
So this is like first gen iPod? For the iPod
Not
Classic,
first
or-
gen, no. First gen for the iPod Classic, yes. It was the first one with a color screen.
Okay, so it was the iPod Color.
The iPod Video, I think is
Yeah,
the
I
real
had one.
name
I
of
had
it.
one of those.
Yeah.
Was
I
it the
had,
skinny one?
No, it was like
Not
the thicker, like
Oh,
you could get it in
yeah,
black
yeah.
or silver
It was
or
like the
white.
Microsoft Zune.
Yes, exactly. Well, it was unironically it was competing with the Zune at the
Dude,
time.
I loved
I had
the
one in
Zune.
high school. I used to
I
watch
did
like
love the Zune
Loved
too.
it.
I'd never had a Zune. I was an iPad kid. So
Yeah.
so I guess when the question is, do they not have like an OS that you can download that's like a newer OS?
Probably not.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Unsupported, okay.
One of those there.
Yeah.
So
Do they not have like
they
an,
do.
an-
You can.
a
You
new
can. They
OS?
have custom OSs.
Yeah, that's
So
what
you
I'm saying.
can
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
That's not what I'm there for.
What do you mean?
I'm there for the nostalgia.
But like you could get a custom OS. I guarantee someone's made a nostalgic OS.
There absolutely is, but you can just run the regular OS.
But like you're saying that you're not able to use your full terabyte.
Oh, I don't care about that. Do you know how many songs 200 gigs is?
yeah, but you can also put videos
Two.
on there too.
Oh, I'm not doing that. It's just there for music. That's all I really
whatever.
use it for. But
You
I
don't want to
also
put music videos on
Do you
there?
want? My wife has an iPod Shuffle that just sits on the table.
which version? Because I already have one.
It's like the one that clips on. It's the mini guy. Like the one
Does
that,
it have? Is it symmetrical or is there one side that's bigger than the other?
No, it's symmetrical. It's like
Okay,
the
I have
square.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
she
the-
has another one that's also the stick. I know. Which
I
one
got
you're
that
talking
one
about,
too.
Yeah.
So I have that
You could
one.
have just said I had both.
No, they made so there's one
Yeah.
that's the circle and
Yeah.
it's small, but on the it's lopsided. It's a little longer on
Oh.
one side
Okay.
where the headphone jack went in.
Oh yeah, I know
The
exactly
one
what you're talking
prior
about.
to the symmetrical
Yeah.
one, and I don't have that one.
Why?
Not because I have, just because I haven't bought it.
No. That's not what I mean. I was gonna say, why did they get rid of the iPhone jack or the
The
headphone,
headphone
jack,
jack. That's
in iPhones?
Make it smaller,
Get more money.
and it
Yeah.
also helped with the. They claim it's
Yeah.
to help with the
internal
IP,
workings. Yeah.
or
Or-
the water resistance, industrial
Yeah.
resistance.
So both things. This is something that a lot of people don't critically think about. Two things can be true at the same time, right? It can be to make them make more money off headphones, off like Lightning headphones, USB-C headphones,
Yeah.
and wireless headphones, and also provide additional water resistance.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You
But
can
then
have
there's
two things.
people that are like, the Galaxy S4 was water resistant.
Resistant, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it had
no,
a
I
headphone
know.
jack and a removable
Yeah,
battery.
but also at the same time, right? Like there's companies that like we talked about this in our last episode with Pokémon and Monolith software. A lot of people can do certain things, but it doesn't mean that someone else can replicate it.
Absolutely.
Right.
So
Yeah. And honestly, I have no issues with. I was really worried when they first got rid of the headphone jack in the iPhone 7.
right.
That was terrifying for me because back then, Bluetooth wasn't low latency.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was not good quality.
Dude, I've had to dev for Bluetooth before, like
Yeah.
make devices for Bluetooth before, and it is such a complicated. Like,
The handshakes are crazy.
yeah, it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like, it is crazy. I just like.
We got to
I'm-
think too, also like, because I'm a music nerd,
Yeah.
so like the quality of an MP3 is already dulled,
Yeah.
right? And then you dull it down more.
Look,
So-
we have a lossless enjoyer over here.
Little flack
Oh,
files.
flack files.
Couple
Oh
flacks.
man, you said the magic word.
Yeah.
Do
Do you fucking sit with vinyls too in your office?
Yes, with stereo speakers.
Most pure way.
So they're strumming the guitar string right on my nuts. Anyway, I think that.
Why is your vinyl sticky?
Yeah.
Sorry.
But no, I mean the quality of music. I know, even if you aren't necessarily like a music nerd, right? You just like listening to music. There is a definite quality that you get from listening, because if you hear a song, say you're in a grocery store and you're listening to it on the
Yeah.
speakers there, it is atrocious.
Yep.
Right, and there's
Doesn't
a
need to
reason.
be good.
It doesn't need to be good. But you know, there's why all of the. You remember when like the Call of Duty Turtle Beach headset?
Turtle
Yeah.
Beach headphones.
Yeah.
5.1
Surround
surround
sound.
sound.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Yes, you could hear somebody walking behind you.
Yeah. Well, but that's super important. Those types of games,
It
right?
is
Like,
super important, but it's also super important when now everything is Bluetooth, including your computer, and you're
Yep.
getting those high quality sound to help you play the game better, to help you hear the noise, the frequency that you wouldn't get because the
Yep.
frequency is cut down. And I do think that spending a little bit more time on things like that is important to realize that there is a latency problem.
Do you? Sorry,
Yeah,
no.
because there is a latency problem with a lot of different things, and I think that if people are going to start making these bigger and better games, or even bringing back older games, having the latency issue with the sound quality alone is just going to bring it, you know.
Do you think that PJ knows that PJ, you haven't seen my computer set up in a little while?
Probably not.
One of the guys that I played games with, for years, he's like, "What headphones are you running with?" I'm like, and I was running with like Sony Bluetooth.
Yeah, Skull Candy.
I'm like, dude, to be fair, I use those. I use the Skull Candy. I use them for years.
They were actually not so bad.
You have $25, best headphones you can get in the market.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
So I use a digital to audio converter with Sennheiser headphones.
Okay.
Like 58Xs, open back.
Oh man.
So when
Making me cream my sound engineering.
Let me tell you, dude. So that's like a $600 setup.
Yep.
He got for me for Christmas and my birthday.
Sure.
And I was like, dude, you don't have to, he's like, I want to spend money on you. He's like, you don't understand how audio is until you have a DAC and until you sit there and you listen to this stuff as it's meant to be heard. You will hear sounds that you've never heard before.
Right.
So when I got it, he helped me set it up and he goes, I want you to go to Spotify. I go, yeah. He goes, I want you to choose your favorite song.
Yeah.
Choose your favorite song and I want you to sit down and I want you to listen to it. I want you to know how much better it is.
Yeah.
And I shit you not. It was it is like night and day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the reason for the iPod Classic is that version specifically has notably the best DAC of any MP3 player ever.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it is
probably
notably the best one.
Well, DACs are one of these things that you don't really get the technology. Yeah, the technology improves, but it's always like 16 or 32-bit. Like you don't really like.
When you move to the 64.
No. Yeah.
And what comes after that?
Wait a minute.
But yeah, it is like just a creamy sound. It is beautiful.
Dude, I grew up on it.
I
grew up on it. Unironically, I listened to them with Skull Candies in high school.
That's right.
You got them from FYE. And you guys didn't grow up in the same town I did, but FYE.
No, we had FYEs here. We still actually have an FYE.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah. So let's talk about FYE for a little bit. I think that
for people that don't know, it's for your entertainment.
No. I mean, they're in malls everywhere. Yeah, for your entertainment.
That's what FYE stands for.
They transitioned to like a niche gaming store.
They were supposed to be like Spencer's for a little bit, right?
They were.
Yeah.
But like, obviously that's pretty on brand with what we're trying to do here. But they have like all of the extra pieces. Like they have Naruto and they have...
Hold on. Say it again.
Naruto?
Nope.
Naruto. Sorry. Naruto's.
Do you know what a Naruto is?
I don't.
So Naruto is like a piece of food that you get in like your ramen.
Okay. That makes sense.
When it has the swirl on it,
yeah. Okay.
It's cut. It's a specialty food. That's why like when he has like the swirl and everything. I don't really.
Oh, okay.
That's why, because it's all based
on
the
Last Airbender.
Yeah. Speaking of which, yeah. Also, so we won't talk about it because we'll go back to FYE.
Yeah.
ADHD moment. On today's date, the voice actor for Kami and Perfect Cell died from Dragon Ball.
Oh wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of sad. But back to For Your Entertainment.
Well, I mean, if you look at things like, I would say anime that's not as big anymore. They've got Sailor Moon stuff there.
It's Box Lunch.
Basically, Box Lunch. They turned into what Box Lunch is, but in a worse way, I think.
Well, it's because you can't copy the best.
Right.
Box Lunch is made by like weebs that like
exactly
want to do that type of content. Like
and that I totally dig that.
Yeah.
I love that about them. They got like my wife is a huge Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
I
And,
hate Harry Potter.
really?
You actually hate
he
Harry
doesn't.
Potter?
He
I'm
doesn't.
literally wearing a Hufflepuff sweatshirt
I don't.
Yeah,
that says Hogwarts.
I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Anyway, so I'm planning a
you
trip.
did what to your puff?
I'm planning a trip in the spring here to go to London with my family for a Pokemon tournament. And
Are you gonna see Hogwarts?
we are going to the Warner Brothers Studios.
That's
too.
the real reason
Yeah.
why you're going to London.
Exactly.
The Pokemon tournament's secondary.
Rip. But no, I mean, FYE really has a lot of those things, but they still try to do music and DVDs like they always have. Nobody buys them, but they're there. And
It's probably just old stock.
yeah, basically, just like we can't get rid of it anymore. Here's some nostalgia for you.
You guys didn't have. So if the FYE is where I think it is, which is over in Sangertown, right?
Yeah.
for people that want.
Now
Whatever.
Doxing
Doxed us. Jeez.
Who cares, dude?
Who
No,
got doxed?
No. Oh no, they chose an upstate New York place. Okay,
Yeah,
where's
anyway.
Singertown? Doesn't matter. It could be anywhere within 3 hours of it.
Singerfield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Singerfield.
Who's driving 3 hours to Singertown?
No one. Me to go visit the FYE.
That's fair.
That's fair.
So your FYE is pretty small. Where I grew up, I
Sure.
grew up in like over in like Orange County, New York.
Yep.
The one that we had at my mall was huge.
Yeah.
It was like a huge FYE to the point where they had like adult DVDs on display in the back. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah. No.
And they would have and like you could go through the adult DVDs, anyone could, but it would straight up say this is an adult section, and they would have like the blackout pieces in front.
Yes.
So you know when I don't know if you guys remember when you had like
Blockbuster.
so do you guys
The
remember?
dark room.
Oh my god. Do you remember the DVD stuff where you used to like it would have like the name and you'd
Yep.
pull forward and it have like every DVD really so like if you were like gonna go for Family Guy,
Sure.
you'd go and you choose the Family Guy thing and it'd
Yep.
be filled with all the different seasons and you could flip
Yep.
through and you could grab the one that you wanted. So imagine they had those, but they were blacked out for porn.
Yes.
And it wasn't like series based, it was
Yeah.
just name based. And then they would have blackout things for every single one.
Sorry,
He-
series
here-
based.
Here's a nostalgia
Butt
fact. that-
Guzzlers 12.
Yes. So here's a nostalgia
Guzzles
fact
again.
for
Sorry, go ahead.
FYE, and this will get a chuckle out of you. But those dividers that they had at FYE in between the CDs, they did have a sale, and the sale coincidentally was a razor blade that says we're cutting prices. So what my friends and I would do is we would put them all in front of the Hawthorne Heights CDs. So when you reach for
Oh no. It's really good.
thanks. But no,
If
I
I
mean,
knew any Hawthorne Heights songs, I would sing it right now. But I don't.
You may have to explain that joke to the audience.
that's fair.
Hawthorne Heights was an emo band from the early 2000s and late 90s.
And
Yes.
it wasn't like My Chemical Romance type of emo.
Right. It was.
Where,
it was more like the story of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you listen to the songs and you kind of wanted to unalive yourself a little bit.
Like when you listen, like stuff like My Chemical Romance and stuff
Yeah.
like that was emo, and Fallout Boy. A
Sure.
good example. It
Yes.
was like pop emo.
Pop emo, MCR is phenomenal.
I
They
love
still
MCR.
are.
I love MCR. One of my
I
favorite
love
bands of all time.
everything
Sad to see
Gerard
their
Way
drummer.
does. I mean,
Sad to see their drummer passed away.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know.
right.
Rip.
Yep.
Right.
But you know they can always use Good Charlotte's drummer. I digress. There is
I'm
no
not a big Good Charlotte
no
fan.
drummer.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So okay, I'm sorry. Then
Fair
just borrow White Stripes drummer.
That's true.
Because there's the joke about that is White Stripes is a drummer and a guitar
Yeah,
player.
player. Yeah.
Well, he has to play one instrument if he's a musician.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like, what do you call someone who hangs around a bunch of musicians?
What's that?
A drummer.
Yeah.
All right. But so side note about Gerard Way.
Sure.
Did you know Gerard Way writes a bunch of
Yes.
comics and other stuff?
Started out as a comic writer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it. Then decided to start a band.
Yep.
Right. Started the band. Did well with the band. Wrote comics. Also wrote movies.
Yep.
And TV shows.
The TV show, though, man, just finished.
Just
Which one?
finished. I haven't
Umbrella
watched
Academy.
The,
Oh yeah, I watched it.
haven't watched the newest season.
I'm
I
not gonna
really
say
want
anything
to.
without because if you say anything about
It's
the
too
last
new. It's too.
No, that's not what I don't
Oh.
even mean that. I'm talking about for him just in general.
Yeah.
If you say anything about the last season, it's gonna
Oh.
spoil it and sour it for you so much.
Oh,
so
Wait,
I'm-
have you not seen the last season?
he has not.
I haven't seen the last season. The
It
current
is-
season. Yeah.
Okay, so I will tell you this:
Sure.
people either love it or hate it.
Yeah, it's controversial.
Yeah, it's
and
very
I can't
controversial.
Say, and we can't say anything else besides
Sure.
that without souring it.
And,
Okay.
and I can tell you that I was one of the people who loved
Yeah,
it.
and I hated it.
Okay.
I hated it. I understand, but I understand why people love it.
I understand why people hate it.
Like,
I've
but
had these conversations
have
constantly.
you but another Gerard Way
Sure.
classic that's really freaking good is
Yeah.
if you ever get the chance to, but you won't because it's on Max. Is
I do have Max though.
you should watch Doom Patrol.
Okay.
Doom Patrol.
I
is
did not know
really, really good.
he wrote for that too.
He wrote the comics. So
Really?
when they remade the comics
Okay.
earlier on, he wrote all those comics.
Sure.
And then he wrote the series, the TV show.
Wow. I didn't know
And
that.
it was when Brandon Fraser, while he was
Yes.
doing The Whale,
Yeah.
he came back for this show too at the same time.
Brendan Fraser.
Arceus.
Not Brandon.
Arceus.
Listen, I'm going to correct all you guys over and over
Brendan,
again.
That's fair,
Brendan
that's fair,
Fraser.
that's
I'm
fair.
the pretentious dick here.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Someone has to be.
English.
Did you know that he actually wrote Penny Parker?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's his from Into the Spider-Verse. You would know her from.
Mhm.
She's in Marvel Rivals too.
Yeah, she's like his
She's
own
Hank.
creation.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep, that was him.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Gerard Way's really cool.
That's on par. That tracks. I'm really excited. Well, did you see that there's some sort of hold up with Spider-Verse 2?
Yeah. Did you
Part
hear
two?
about what's going on?
No, not really. I mean, kind of.
So
but
there's a couple things.
yeah,
One is that the main actor is supposed to be a little bit
Yes.
creepy.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
so
main actor.
the
Yeah, the
main-
main voice actor for Miles.
has been creeping on some folks.
Yeah.
That sucks because he was really good.
He was
So-
really
So,
good.
but that's not the reason why they're delaying it. But that's something that came out during it.
Mhm.
Did you guys see that? Apparently, Warner. I don't know if it was Warner Brothers or someone else bought the rights to.
Well, it's got to be Sony.
no, it's I'm sorry, Amazon. Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon is producing a Spider-Man noir series with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, I did
starring.
see
Oh, I
that.
did-
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
you guys ever think that So, at what point do you guys think that Nicolas Cage is actually doing movies because he likes it, or because he's paying off his horrendous gambling debts?
Yes.
Because he has both, right?
Right.
Do you know? About
It's
this,
actually
John?
a Nicolas Cage AI, is what it is.
Just yeah. There's probably some sick Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
AIs.
wow.
Dude, speaking of like Nicolas Cage movies, have you guys seen like this isn't a Nicolas Cage movie, but it's like a B movie type thing?
Sure.
Have you guys seen like the Winnie the Pooh horror movies?
Yes.
I have not watched them because
I haven't watched them either because they just look.
So
The
Too
horror
terrible.
ones?
the horror ones like
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Blood for
called.
Honey?
It's
Yeah, Blood and Honey.
Blood and Honey. Yeah.
Blood and Honey, yeah. So, did you guys hear about what the guy's trying to do with it? So, props to this guy for doing this. Like,
Yeah.
this guy, if this guy wants to do it,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I'm not a horror fan. Like, I'm not a
Oh,
huge horror fan.
I am.
Same.
So, like, I'm throwing my hands up. Like, dude, if this is awesome, and they have to just be a certain bar, and if you're
Yeah.
above that bar, all props to you, man. So he wants to do like a whole like Winnie the
It's a
Pooh like,
multiverse.
multiverse.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like Bambi's his next big one. He has
Oh,
Peter Pan.
He did
You killed my
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio is another one too.
Yeah.
Really?
And then they're gonna he wants to have an Avengers style crossover. So he's writing these other ones in preparation for his big movie that's supposed to be like Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
So speaking of,
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
cool.
and it's kind of cool. Like I think that's rad. I'm not gonna
Sure.
watch it because it's not for me.
I
Neither.
just I like worlds.
Yeah.
Like I like building of the world. I know I'm gonna get some hate for this, but I didn't really stick around mentally for Tolkien.
For Lord of the Rings?
For Lord
The
of
Hobbit?
the Rings.
I
Yeah,
mean, whatever,
exactly.
dude. You got to do. Your
I
own
can only
thing.
do so many things.
Yeah, that's fine.
Game of Thrones was kind of like okay, but like
How far did you watch?
season 4 or 5.
I knew you didn't
You were
watch the
prob-
whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
you
I
were
didn't-
probably fine at
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it was
5
okay.
is where it started going.
Yeah.
And the worst
Yeah.
part is that you had faith that you were like, it can't end this bad.
I
And
know.
it
Right,
does.
right.
Dude, I know.
Yeah.
Um,
That's kind of what I heard, and well, with things like that, there's so much to unpack there, and my brain can only retain so much information.
so I got a really cool fact for you that I
Yeah.
just remembered because we were
Sure.
talking about multiverses
Yeah.
and like all this other stuff. So last episode we talked a little bit about Sam Raimi and Bruce
Sure.
Campbell.
Yeah.
So I watched an interview where
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell was talking about why. So I don't know if you know, back in the day they did Freddy versus Jason.
Yes.
So they were originally going to make Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Really?
Like Ash Williams from Evil Dead.
Wow.
So-
Okay, I would have watched that
so the
because
reason-
Freddy versus Jason was terrible. But
So the reason why it didn't get made, Bruce Campbell was like, they were like, okay, can we do this? And like Sam Raimi's on the phone and Bruce Campbell's on the phone. They're like, yeah, but Ash is gonna win, right?
mm-hmm.
And they're like, no. And then they were like, okay, no deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
So the reason being, and Bruce Campbell talks about this, is Ash Williams is the only protagonist
Yes.
in a horror universe.
Right.
He's the only person that needs to win.
Got
And
it.
he's like, I can understand, like, we can kill them and then just have them come back in the post credits.
Sure.
He's like, but Ash has to win.
Right.
That's the whole concept of
Except-
Ash.
yes,
He
exactly.
overcomes these horrors. He doesn't have to overcome them in a good way.
right.
Like, Army of Darkness.
Yes. I
Like
loved
for people
Army-
who don't know, like,
Loved it.
spoilers at the end of Army of Darkness.
Yep.
He sleeps for too long in the cave in
Yes.
certain ones.
Yep.
Right, and then he wakes up. Like, there's two endings, right?
Yes.
This one was the one that was hated. He gets sent into the back in time, and then
Yeah.
a wizard gives him a potion to stay asleep
Yeah.
in the cave, and then the goal is that it wears off when it's his
back
time.
in his time. Yeah.
And then the first ending is that it happened too long and he's in the future and like the world is destroyed because he wasn't there to stop the Deadite invasion.
Yeah.
And then the second one is that he's just back in his normal town and killing everybody. And like they aired it and like people didn't like the first ending, so they made the second ending.
Right. And I mean, I even watched, he had a TV show.
TV show was fantastic.
So good.
Yeah.
Done
John,
so well.
like, I don't know if you said you're not a horror fan, right? The TV show is worth watching.
Yeah.
Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Because it is like the campiness of the Evil Dead movies and Army of Darkness and all this other stuff. And it's just so fun. And they set it up for such a cool second season.
And then nothing
happened.
Yeah. Well, that
So sad.
But it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was the epitome of a perfect show. Now, another show, we're talking about people who are kind of assholes behind the scenes and multiverses, and that's a perfect transition into what's about to happen, and I think in a couple of months, is that we're going to get the final season of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Did
they push it back again?
I know they pushed it back once.
I thought they pushed it back again.
Well,
so what's going on with why are they getting it pushed back? I don't know.
So there's a lot of things happening at Netflix with the writers and directors.
Oh, got it.
Because of their actors and actresses on the show being not so great humans.
Yeah, I saw the stuff about David Harbour.
Yeah. So there's that, and they want to they've recorded the majority of it too, and it's in editing phase, I'm pretty sure, from what I can tell. But the thing of it is that you can't necessarily go public and then do these, press tours and things like that with people who you don't really want.
But the problem
promoting
is
the
that
product, right?
The problem is that this is already goods that are done.
Right.
You might as well just release it and just say
Exactly.
and have a press release that just says, "Hey, look, this was made before this stuff was done.
Right.
We figured that we don't want to rob our public of this art that was made." And it is up to the individual viewer to make the decisions that they make.
That's right.
It's like Wicked
Put
with
a
Ariana.
disclaimer.
Yeah, like it's like Wicked with Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
I know someone that can't watch Wicked because of the fact that Ariana Grande broke up a marriage.
Right.
For her.
Yes. So here's
What's up?
I'm a firm believer that you can separate the product from the person.
Exactly. And that's the point that I'm trying to bring up
Yes.
too. Is that like, fuck it. Like, I don't know what else to say, man. Like,
I know, and I know a lot of people have issues with that, and a lot of people do stuff specifically because they like the person as a person.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine. But like, you can listen to this podcast and think got some funny things to say about random different things and still hate me as a person.
dude,
That's fine.
it's
not fine to kill me inside.
I am so interested. Like, I think this is really funny. You know who's in the limelight again? Like, after this? Before we came in here today, there was a Joe Rogan episode with Mel Gibson on it.
What?
Oh boy.
And I'm very interested to see what that's about. And it is going to be, if anything, it's going to be entertaining.
I haven't even heard that name in years.
Yeah. And he's old, and these guys are old now.
Right.
Like,
so they don't give a shit.
or just like, I don't know, man, like at a certain point, you just got to do whatever you got to do.
Right.
Like at a certain, you can only apologize so much.
That's
right?
true.
Like you can, it's really rough to bring this up, but like, it's like, at what point are you repent, like, are you okay? How long are you going to apologize?
How
for
long does it take to get the apology through? Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
I don't know. That's like a decision, or that's a talk for another time.
I feel like there's all of these people, actors, actresses, so on and so forth, who ruin either their careers or the careers of others because of what they say, and then they have the chance to redeem themselves. Are they getting the redemption?
Right.
Let's do the same thing here. Let's dock someone.
Let's dock somebody.
All right, PJ. This is all the text messages you sent me before we started.
That's fair.
No, we're gonna pick a random person, just make something up.
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah.
I think. God.
Who's a well-known streamer that we how about Ludwig?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
I heard that Ludwig was the one who actually killed Bambi's mother.
Oh wow.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Is that why we're getting the Bambi horror movie?
There it
because of
is. It's a true story because Ludwig did that.
Yeah.
Crazy story, man.
If oh my God, I had a really funny idea, but I don't think I can do it right now. because my phone's being recorded.
Oh, I thought it was because you had pants on.
I mean, that too. That too.
Why don't we'll save it for the next one.
Maybe.
I think we've ADD'd out today.
Yeah, I think we're all over the place, and I think I think we're getting close to being able to end it.
The multiverses come together
Yeah.
into one Avengers episode.
We need a
here.
multiverse podcast.
Yes, a multiverse.
Yeah.
podcast.
Dude, that would have been a good name for a podcast.
Multiverse of podcast.
Multiverse podcast.
Sure, but we're not. We're the Gameboyz, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Tentative name.
Tentative. Yeah.
Tentative name.
As much as we're in the future we might be like the Big Boys podcast or like the Boy podcast or like the
boy band podcast.
Yeah, the boy
all
band.
about NSYNC.
All literally.
no. Well, this side of the couch is like a fan of Backstreet Boys. That side of the couch is
What do I
NSYNC.
have to be 98 degrees?
See, here's the thing. I didn't really listen to any of them.
Well, yeah, because
What?
we were guys and we didn't really
I was
listen.
more
Whoa.
Aaron Carter.
Are you telling me that you want it that
S
way?
Club 7.
Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a heartache.
Ain't nothing but
There he goes.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but
What was the other one? There we had
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Jesse.
Ventura?
Yes, Jesse Ventura. What a great
A
singer.
wrestler?
National recording artist Jesse
Jesse
Ventura.
McCartney?
Yeah,
Jesse McCartney.
I don't
Yeah.
want another pretty face.
He knows all the songs. Look at him. He listens to it.
Dude, I love that style.
That's what he's getting his iPod for.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun fact, it was a 2005 iPod,
Yeah.
and it only had songs from 2005 on it.
That's fair.
That's
100%.
kind of niche, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did it
just-
with a couple of the other ones too that I had from
Strictly
that
the
year. It's all-
80s, Joel.
Is this what you spend your money on?
Yeah.
You consider
Dude,
it stocks?
Do you know how much I got that iPod for? Like $35.
We talked to you
I've
about
only got it
penny
for
stocks.
$4,000.
Inbox. No, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to click the YouTube stuff.
Yeah,
Guys,
yeah.
if you like this content, feel free to drop a sub to the channel if you're on YouTube, or click that little bell. If you're on another podcast thing such as Spotify, you can always follow us.
Yes.
And also leave a comment if you want to correct anything that we said
Comment.
today.
This is a podcast. They leave
a podcast.
reviews.
Yeah,
Okay.
Review us on Apple
say,
Music
if
because
you're-
that'll boost us a little bit and help
you
us
review us-
get more content out to you.
If you review us, we'll read it.
We'll
And
read it
also-
right
good or
here
bad.
Also,
on
after-
the pod.
I will let you know that after we've spoken so much crap about Elon,
Yeah.
we're posting this video to X.
Let's post it to X too. You can
tell 'em.
follow us on X as well.
Or do tell them. Let's tag
and
them.
Yeah.
Like, share, and do your thing on social media.
Heck yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back again shortly.
We're not watching, John. They're listening.
They could be watching too.
Guys,
Whatever.
thanks so much. We'll see you guys soon.
Later.